sound effect. I don't know, was that going to improve it too much?
Well, good afternoon. It's gone 5 o'clock and we're here to start this community forum. Firstly, can I acknowledge the Indigenous people on whose land we stand, and very grateful that for what's happened to both ourselves and to the community, that you're all here and you're safe. We are live streaming this so people at home can see it as well, and it's being recorded in case there's materials you'd like to come back to. I would like to acknowledge in the audience we have the member for Swan Hills, Jeff Shaw. We have the Mayor from the City of Swan, Mayor Tanya Richardson, and you have a number of distinguished guests here today to do. But we're here for one purpose. Queries. My name's Stephen Kane. I'm the CEO of the City of Swan and Sydney Development Council. This has been a very traumatic incident, but we're going very quickly from managing an incident to working through recovery. We will be here, as the agencies will hear from today, here to answer your questions, here to help you. We want to get you back into your properties as quickly as we can. We want to assist you with those efforts as part of your recovery. There'll be things that you may ask today that we don't know the answer to. My staff are here, we're taking questions, we'll record them, and we'll come back to you. This won't be the first and only time that you see us. So it's important now that you understand what's happened. I'm going to move across to give you a view of the incident, and to that I'm going to ask Murray if you would come in. Where's Murray from DFIS? And he'll explain to you, using the map behind me, what's occurred with this fire. Thank you, Murray.
This opportunity to explain what my name is Murray McBride. I'm the incident controller for this incident, but my normal role is District Officer North East, and I look after Mundaring, Swan and Chittering. As you know, this fire escalated very quickly yesterday. It was wind driven. Started just off 2J Road at about 12:30, a little bit after, and escalated, like I said, very quickly. We sent a lot of resources to it. It started as a local government incident, like most do. It's either local government or DBCA, and local government ran it for the first couple of hours until we could get our numbers there. DFS got their numbers there, and we asked the city if they were happy for us to take it over, and we took it over. I became the incident controller at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we started combating the fire. A lot of appliances were at the incident overnight. We had over 200 firefighters for the first few hours, well, till dark, and then we scaled back just a little bit. That was from crews from DBCA, local government brigades, volunteer fire and rescue, volunteer VFES and career crews from all over the metro and around the country areas. We had 6 machines working with us overnight, and at the peak of the fire yesterday, we had 13 air appliances helping us with fire suppression. That was from the national large air tanker to the WA base large air tanker. And we dumped over that first daylight period just over 400,000 litres of water and retardant from the air. When you do go back to your properties, there is a lot of pink in the landscape, and you do have houses that are pink. We didn't lose any houses. The firefighters did Thank you. Firefighters did a great job. The ground crews and the aerial crews. When you get back in, you'll just see how close it did get to houses. So, just remember, a lot of the crews out there were volunteers as well as trained staff. So, they're putting their lives at risk in front of these flames. We have been working closely with WA Police. We had St John's with us for the protection of all the crews on the ground. So that's just an overview. Now I'll start talking about the incident. At this stage, when I left the incident control point, the fire was 95% tracked. Now, it's been a slow process. We didn't commit any machines overnight because just the steepness of the country that we're dealing with, it's too dangerous to commit the machines and the crews in those areas. And there's some areas that were too steep or in creeks that we haven't tracked, and we've been laying retardant there. So hopefully by the time I get back, I'll get the report that it's 100% tracked. That doesn't mean the fire's safe. We will call it contained and controlled as soon as we've got it tracked. And then the crews will go into the mop-up stage and patrolling, and we'll be on the fire ground, I would say, for another 4 to 5 days, making sure it stays in the containment lines. Even to this afternoon before I came down, we were still having spotting over the containment lines, and we did have a little run on the west side of the fire. So crews jumped onto that quick with aerial resources. So it is looking good. My ops officer at the last IMT, he was pretty pleased with himself. So they've done a great job, and it is looking safe. I guess the question is, how are we going with the roads and our road closures? So at lunchtime today, I decided that we need to start looking at opening the roads. We've been doing response. Our heads are in that space, and now it's time to try and get you guys back in. Tonight, hopefully, we're aiming at 8 o'clock. Everything from Campsick Road West will be opened up. Unfortunately, everything Campsick Road to the east, and I'll name the roads in a minute, we can't open up. There's still burnt areas that we're assessing around your houses, making sure that if we let you in, there's not going to be a tree that's going to fall on you. We're still checking power lines. So, there is a process for us that's going to take time. We're hoping by lunchtime tomorrow, all the roads will be open and we'll let you in. So if you don't mind, I'll just look at my bit of paper and I'll just read the roads that we're attempting to open tonight. And like I said, we're hoping at 8 o'clock this evening, but I've had a text since I've been in the hall. It's going to be a little bit later than that, and they didn't say when. So it'll be Hadrill Road, Weir Road and Daniel Road, and everything west of Campsick Road from Hadrill to Stock Road. That's what we're trying to open up tonight. So I know that might be frustrating for some, but the east of Campsick, still just too dangerous. There are some properties that aren't affected, but it's just easier for us to close those full sections and letting people in. So please be patient. We are getting there. So this is the fire shape. 150 hectares it's staying on there. It's actually 187 hectares. The problems have been this north edge. It's been very steep country. The machines that we've been using are bulldozers, and they've only been able to track 300 metres an hour. So that's really slow. Normally at a fire, we're sort of getting a kilometre an hour. So it just shows how steep and difficult it is for these machine operators. We've done like I said, we've done a lot of retardant. So we'll make sure that we make access to our leaflets that give you any information about retardant drops and stuff like that. So there was a lot of retardant drops done along this edge here to hold it into the creek, and then we did some along the top here, just as a fallback line if we couldn't get the machines in. And then, as you can see, probably driving along even the highway, you might see that along the escarpment there's a lot of retardant drops. So in all, from our aerial resources, there are 132 aerial drops done from retardant to water. So they've been busy for us as well. We'll have crews there overnight, so it will be the same amount of crews that we had during the day. So we're hoping to have 100 crews on the fire ground today, tonight. That's probably adds up to about 30 appliances. So we're making sure that these guys are going to be working hard through the night within the containment lines. We have lost our city building. It was a house up on, sorry, I just got to check. Wandoo Heights. So we've had reports that that is on the ground, but there's asbestos involved there. So we'll be demarcating that and working with that over the next few days. So we ask people to stay away from that. We had some great saves yesterday. It's good to actually come to a meeting and say we haven't lost any houses, any residential houses. And because of how the aerial support works, we love them. I don't know how we did it without them. Up on Daniel, and we're just on this northern edge here, some fantastic saves. The fire was licking some of the houses, so the crews did a great job. We've had an incident management team set up, which consisted of roughly probably 20 odd people from WA Police, DFES, DBCA, the City of Swan staff. Don't know who else, Paul, probably all that. At the West Gidgee Fire Station. So they've been working since the fire started, and they work through the night tonight, and we'll keep that manned until we deem the fire safe, or happy to hand it back to the city, which we'll do that hopefully in the next couple of days. Okay.
Thank you.
Look, I can't say enough how great it was to see local residents, local units out there fighting the fire, your neighbours standing next to you. The Mayor and I have been through a drive-through area, and to see how close the fire got to houses, the fact that no house was lost, very little property damage. We are exceedingly grateful to what DFES have done, and particularly to our local community. Does anybody have questions on the fire while Murray's standing here? All right.
Just one about the road closures. You mentioned everything east of Kempsey Road will be open tonight, I think.
No, everything west of Kempsey Road will be open. Yes.
Yeah. And then you also mentioned Admiral Weir Road will be open.
Yeah, so we have city staff at the moment driving those roads to make sure they are happy to open those roads. So the best way of keeping up to date is Emergency WA, and as soon as we can put any information on about road closures, it'll be on Emergency WA. So that's where look, but that's what we're trying to do. Those ones to the north of the fire as well. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the fire? I just explained the process we go through with DFES, because this is a joint operation. DFES will go through and inspect all the roads twice. When they've inspected the roads, as part of the handover to the City of Swan, my staff will go along and do a similar inspection. We need to know the area is as safe as possible before you attempt to go back to your homes. We're not going to put you at risk at any time. All right. If there are no further questions on that aspect, as I said, this is a joint effort. As a fire is fought, and the use of the aerial assets up to last night was superb. When I saw photos of the fire, I thought this is going to be a terrible day. But those people really stopped the fire. But as we move through, the important now, the police and the role they have in securing your property, making sure no one's getting into the community who shouldn't be here, whether they be sightseers or those who are coming for alternate reasons. So we're going to hear from the police now, if we could, and they'll explain to you the steps they're taking to make sure your property is safe. So Mark, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Marriott. I'm the officer in charge of the Midland Police Station. Our role at this fire is to assist DFIS with their operations, and part of that is keeping your property safe and also the operators at DFIS. So DFIS basically approach us and ask us for assistance, and we obviously provide that for them. The road closures are actually designed to keep the fire personnel safe, and also to stop people coming into those areas who actually don't belong. So the way we achieve that, I'm sure you've all seen, is we actually block off those roads to make sure that people don't go through. And what you probably don't see behind that, we have roving patrols driving up and down, and they drive up and down the whole time. The roads are actually locked down. So we know if anybody comes in, they're being stopped by us immediately. And this is to protect your property while you guys can't be there. So this happens from 3:30 yesterday afternoon when we received that first phone call from DFIS requesting our assistance. So last night we had over 8 police vehicles driving around the areas which were locked down. All day today, we've had a further 6 vehicles doing exactly the same role, just driving around and keeping your property safe. So I can guarantee you this, that the WA Police is committed to making sure that you guys are all safe, the fire is safe, and as well as your property. And that's how it operates. So tonight we will remain in place while DFIS are still there, assisting them throughout the evening, and that includes all the way through to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, when we'll regroup and make a decision as to whether or not those roads will be opened up, which is a decision which will be made by DFIS and the Shire once everything is safe for you. And that's the WA Police role. Any questions? Thank you very much.
And as the Mayor and I can attest, we were out driving the fireground before we came here, and there's a very visible presence. So people are deterred from coming in, and that's what the message has to be. Don't come and have a sightsee. We want to get you back into your homes. I said from the outset, this is a partnership. People come to fight the fire, and then people have to assist in the recovery. It is amazing how quickly the assets from Western Power have been brought online to come back and part of that restorative arrangement. At the peak of this fire, we had 130 homes that had lost power. When you go through the area, you'll see power poles that are waiting to be replaced. But as I stand here today, I think there's only less than a handful of homes that don't have power restored to them. So we're going to hear from Western Power and a quick update from them on how their recovery operation is going.
Good evening, everyone. Brendan Pugh, Western Power Field Supervisor from the Balcatta Depot Faults. Yesterday afternoon, we were notified there was a fire. Our crews attended there to isolate the power in the afternoon to make it safe for the first responders, the police, the fireys, etc. We had crews up there monitoring all night, watching what was happening, and slowly during the day today we started to restore the power. So currently, as we speak, there's 7 poles that are being burnt. 5 will be replaced today, or some have been replaced already. And I think there's a total of 10 people without power at the moment. So from the Western Power point of view, it's a good result for us that not many assets were lost, and everybody should have their power on later tonight. The reports I've got from the crews, the digging is very hard out there, so they're doing the best they can. Apart from that, everything's it's good for us. So, thank you.
Questions for Western Power while we're here? Okay. We're going to take you through now the steps the city will be going through. The fire's out, your access to your roads are back in, so what are we going to do next? We have a number of steps we'll step through to make sure the area is safe. Our natural areas team will start to comb through the bushland looking for areas of damage or areas where we need to come back and do restorative work. Our health officers will be out. We've mentioned already that at Wandoo Heights, we've lost a historic city building, and I with the clearance of that. We will also be asked to check your water supply and make sure that's safe. We know there's reticulated water supplies through the area, but if any of you have tanks, you need to go through a process to flush those out. go through your cleanup, we will have a recovery officer. These